Stockx removes all claims of authenticity from their website, causing people to ask why even use the platform. Adidas announced that they will be continuing to release Yeezys without calling them Yeezys. And we got news of some sneakers dropping that has people pretty excited. There's a lot to talk about. Let's get into it. So the biggest news of the week. So Stockx made an official announcement on their Twitter page, and pretty much every sneaker blog out there went crazy with this. The headline is that Stockx removed all claims that the sneakers sold on their platform are 100% verified authentic. The announcement did go on to say that their processes have not changed. They will still continue to meet their elevated standard of excellence, including checking for incorrect size, missing accessories, damaged boxes, manufacturer defects, and here's the key part, if the item is fake. So when the news broke, based on reading some of the IG comments, it sounded like people were under the assumption that Stockx is just not going to care anymore about fake sneakers. However, it sounds to me like nothing has really changed except for the wording on their website. And why did they change all that wording? Well, you can thank Nike for that. Earlier this year, Nike did file a lawsuit against Stockx, mainly related to Stockx NFTs. But during their lawsuit, they made the claim that they were able to acquire fake sneakers from Stockx. The shoes that they tried it with were the Jordan 1 patent breads. And it is most likely because of this lawsuit that Stockx was forced to remove all claims on their website, saying that everything bought on there was 100% verified authentic. Before, every single sneaker page used to look like this. It clearly said verified authentic on each shoe, whereas now it just says new. So a lot of people are asking, is it safe to continue to buy on Stockx? So I think what Nike did here was expose something that has been going on for a very long time in these sneaker reselling platforms everywhere, and that is fakes being passed as authentic shoes. As you guys know, nowadays fakes are just as good as the real pairs. It is very difficult to tell the differences. So I do think it was about time that Stockx removed this claim on their website saying that everything bought there was real, because that has been proven time and time again that it is simply not true. I checked on the GOAT website and they actually still have this on the website, an assurance of authenticity, but I find it personally very hard to believe that some sneaker platforms have better authenticators than others. I think they're just lucky that Nike hasn't gone after them yet. All of these platforms are looking at the same sneakers, the same high quality fakes. So I do think that it is always a risk to buy from any of these platforms, and I think most people actually know this. Will I continue to buy from Stockx on other platforms? Well, yes. And the reason for that is because I don't really think anything has changed. The same risks that existed before when buying from Stockx still exist today. The only difference now is that Nike has called them out for it. I do believe that Stockx and other platforms do have the right intention. They really do want to make sure that their customers get authentic products. And that's because that's literally what their entire business model is based on. What is the #1 reason people buy from Stockx? If you were to ask me, it would be assurance of getting a real product. So I do believe that they are actually trying their best to give you authentic products. Let's relate it to another business, Amazon, for example. What's the #1 reason people buy from Amazon? In my opinion, it would be convenience. And Amazon knows this. They've doubled down, they've tripled down on this convenience factor. That's why nowadays you can buy something from Amazon and get it pretty much the same day. I feel like Stockx knows that the most important thing about their business is to make customers feel safe. So I really do think that they're trying their best to give you a good product. Keeping all that in mind, last week I did go ahead and purchase this. This is the Jordan 1 Lost and Found from Stockx. And knowing the rewards, knowing the risk, that right there is pretty much the most I'm willing to spend when it comes to buying a shoe from a reselling platform. I wouldn't, for example, buy a Travis Scott Mocha or one of those Louis Vuitton Air Force Ones from Stockx, because simply in that case, the risk just completely outweighs the reward for me. After I posted this screenshot on my Instagram, by the way, that I bought these of Stockx, I got maybe like 10 or 20 of you guys telling me that they've also bought the shoe from Stockx this week and they've got their orders rejected because Stockx found out that the shoes were actually fake, which I'm pretty grateful for. I'm actually glad that they're doing a good job taking it seriously. For legal reasons, they're no longer allowed to write on their website that everything is real, but I think most people already know this, that there's a risk involved when buying from these platforms. So my advice to you guys is when you're buying from these platforms, keep a number in mind. Like for me, it was around like 400. That's what I spent on this shoe. Ask yourself, what is that amount that you guys are comfortable with spending on the platform, knowing that there is a chance that you might not get an authentic product. However, I do believe, and by the way, this is not a Stockx sponsored video or anything, I actually really do believe that they are incentivized to make sure that you guys get authentic products. So I do think they will try their hardest to do that. And that's pretty much my 2 cents on the topic. Sorry for talking so much about this, but I just wanted to add a little bit of clarity to the topic. I felt like there's just a lot of noise about this going on right now. I would love to hear from you guys. Will you be continuing to buy from sneaker reselling platforms? Or if you want to buy reps too, nothing wrong with that. Let me know down in the comments. How are you guys handling this news? Quickly, before we move on to the next topic, it would mean the world to me, guys, if you just hit that like button. It really supports the channel, and of course, give me a follow on YouTube if you haven't already. And I'm also active on Instagram, on TikTok. The handles are right here. And if you want the best sneaker podcast out there, the Kickback Pod, episodes drop bi-weekly, links are in the description. Next big news story of the week. So Adidas did announce that in 2023, they will continue putting out Yeezy designs, but just completely removing the Yeezy branding from the shoes. I, for one, was not surprised by this information at all, because when they had their press release announcing that they cut ties with Kanye, it clearly said on there that Adidas owned the rights to all of the designs. And when I made my reaction video to that news, I even told you guys that this would happen, that Adidas would be continuing to put out a 350, for example, and just call it the Adidas 350. So it wasn't all that surprising to me. I was kind of shocked actually by the amount of people saying that Adidas is screwing over Kanye. I think it's really tough to say that, because I'm sure Kanye and his lawyers looked over that contract a million times before signing it. I'm sure they knew that Adidas owned all of the designs, yet they still signed the contract. So it's really tough to say that Adidas is screwing over Kanye. They do have every right legally to keep putting out those designs, and they are a corporation. Corporations got to make money. So I am not surprised at all that they're doing this. The much more interesting question, in my opinion, is will people continue to buy those shoes? If Kanye West is not in any way attached to the shoes, are people still going to be interested? The shoes are amazing, but to be honest, the main reason I used to buy those shoes was, because I was a pretty big fan of Ye. And I'm personally not all that interested in buying an Adidas 350 or an Adidas 700, especially if they're going to continue to sell them at Yeezy prices, which it seems like they're going to be doing that. So the CFO of Adidas said that the profitability of Yeezy products is often overstated because of the high cost of producing and marketing the products compared to regular Adidas shoes. So if the costs were that high to produce those shoes, I'm pretty sure Adidas is going to continue selling them at a higher price to get that profit. And if that's the case, you're going to give me Yeezys without calling them Yeezys, but still charge me Yeezy prices. I can only speak for myself here, but I'm definitely not interested. But let me know down in the comments, how do you guys feel about this? Will you guys continue to buy the quote-unquote Yeezys that come out next year? Do you even care whether or not Kanye is attached to it? You just like the design of the shoes? And more importantly, will you actually buy them if they charge the same price as before? Let me know down in the comments. As always, I love hearing from you guys. The next news topic, so we got our favorite Canadian mood board, Jound, dropping yet another 990 V3. This time the brown tones are heavy, and it's already the third 990 V3 that they've released this year. This colorway right here, it's a very Jound-like colorway. Once again, it's pretty simple. They're not trying to do too much. They're all about minimalism. And that's really one of the best things about all of the Jound collabs. They're shoes that look great, but they're also very easy to wear, unlike some other collabs. This colorway I do think is very nice. However, I do much prefer the olive ones that came out earlier in the year. Look for those to drop sometime this month. As usual, it usually drops on the Jound website first before a worldwide New Balance release the following week, but it should be dropping sometime in November. Another bit of news, and I am so excited about this, one of my absolute favorite sneakers in the world, period, the Zoom Romero 5. Nike finally brought them back. The first colorway that they brought them back in is this oatmeal pair, and I did manage to cop a pair from the sneakers app earlier in the week. Cannot wait to receive those and do a review for you guys. I'm not sure if I've talked about it on here, but in my opinion, this is actually the most comfortable Nike sneaker, period. And they look absolutely great on feet as well. And it seems like there's going to be a lot more colorways dropping in the future. Some of those darker tones too look really nice. Did you guys cop the oatmeal colorway? I'm telling you, if you guys are in the market for a nice, lightweight, easy to wear shoe that is just very comfortable, look no further than the Zoom Romero 5. They did retail for a price of $160. And the last thing I want to say this week to all of you guys is good luck on the Jordan 1 Chicago Lost and Found release that will be happening later in the week on November the 19th. I hope you guys are all able to get a pair for retail. And even if you don't, resale prices right now, thankfully, are just not very high. It looks like it's going to be settling somewhere in the low 300 range, which is way lower than people expected when these shoes first got announced. But I'm hoping all you guys are able to get a pair. Do not forget to hit those raffles. For everyone from the US, the best place to find out all your raffles is soulretriever.com. And if you are based in Europe, the website that I use personally is Sneaktorious. They got the list of all of the latest raffles, so I definitely suggest you guys to check that out. And thank you once again so much for watching this video and for supporting the channel. I will catch all of you in the next one. Peace.